day whatever, I realized that I've strayed a little bit off track. The original vision for making videos was really about learning to take videos, obviously, but with the ultimate goal of being about teaching. That's what God said. Teaching, that was the thing. Teaching through video, teaching through whatever, but this summer I feel like I've gotten older. Just yesterday my dad said to me, in 10 years you're going to lose like all the hair up here, which was really encouraging because that's what I'm shooting for, right? Anyways, I just wanted to share some things, good things actually, about getting older. Unlike our society, the Bible actually has some positive things to say about getting older. In fact, one of the things that I think is very sad is when older people try to talk like younger people, using things like tweet or redefining words in light of some teenager who just told an older person that actually is not cool anymore, so you shouldn't do it. And the older person's like, okay, I won't do it anymore. Got some things mixed up between those. I think it should be the other way around. I don't want the older generation being led by the younger generation, because that just seems like slow consideration of ideas. This is one of the things that I am actually really happy about. Thinking about when I was 20 and a new idea kind of came into my realm. I learned about something new and I was just like all about it, and I was trying to preach about it and get everyone to kind of agree with that pretty much instantaneously. And now that I'm older, I've kind of like, I'm not being cynical, I don't hope I'm not cynical. I just like, this is something interesting and I should pause and reflect on it before I make it my own. So that actually is a really, really good thing. And I hope to keep that up. The slow consideration of ideas. Not just automatically dismissing things, even though some things seem crazy when you first hear about them, like maybe the earth is actually flat and we've been lied to our entire lives. That sounds crazy. I considered it slowly, got a little freaked out when I started reading about it. Felt like I weighed a little bit of the evidence and decided that I'm not a conspiracy theorist, and that really is required if you're going to embrace that ideology. Minivans, which if I was John Oliver, I'd make a joke about that right now, but minivans kind of symbolize resigning your position as being a cool person and embracing the idea that you have children and that is your like identity, and you're going to shape your vehicles around this idea of hauling children and their stuff. And we got one. More through osmosis than, honey, let's sit down and figure out if a minivan is for us. It was more like someone offered it to us for a little bit, and we were like, well, it'd kind of work out for this trip, which we were planning, and started working on that, getting it for the trip, temporary thing. And the person was like, why don't you own it? And I was like, no, I don't really want to own a minivan. And then kind of started pouring money into it and more money into it. And it kind of is now ours. It's definitely a mark of adulthood. I got a safe, like for like $40, right? Which is like a significant amount of money, because, yeah, and I didn't put like video games or crackers or rocks or things that I used to do when I was a kid or something like that. Like I put papers, like paperwork. I put, papers in a safe. Like how grown up is that? Very thing to do is to own a safe and put papers just in case something were to happen. So now I am the proud owner of a safe, and I really feel good about this. Like there's papers that I have that would be a real pain in the butt to replace. Yeah, it just seems like the responsible thing to do, and so I'm an adult now, and so I have a safe. Yes. I started working outside this summer for a little bit of money, but it was a job, not just volunteering or trying to. It was hard. It was like 90 plus degrees, and we were doing it for hours and hours, and some of it in the sun. And it was this whole like, whoa, I'm not 20 anymore, and I can't just lackadaisically go outside and work and kind of just like, okay, we're done, so I'm just gonna go home and do whatever else I normally do at home. It was like, go home and like sit and try to figure out why my body is so exhausted, a deeper tiredness on a bodily level than I am used to. And thinking about like, I didn't drink nearly enough water during that working session. And I even stretched a few times before and after I worked. Good things. See, I said that being an adult is a good thing. And I considered buying rental property. Like, I'm gonna buy the property and then rent it to somebody else. Like, I'm gonna be the landlord. I still think of landlords as kind of being evil and scummy and rich and fat and bald and old, which maybe I'm working on that. I don't know. I'm trying to redefine what a landlord is because I don't want to be the negative picture that's in my head. Weird thing, but I'm kind of excited about it. Like, maybe I get to add value to people's lives because they get to live in it, and I get to be a good landlord that responds when people have problems and tries to be professional and consistent. Despite the fact that I think that it would be way easier and more profitable to be somebody that owns a storage shed and then rents it to people and then doesn't have to worry about getting calls in the middle of the night because the toilet broke. I actually don't really like storage shed businesses because people aren't mature enough to know how to do that stuff. Like, it's okay for people to rent a storage shed for 6 or 8 months, or if they have a business and they need to store things at a location. But I don't think that's actually what most people do. I think most people get a storage shed and they put crap in it that is basically worthless and then leave it there for like 5 or 10 years. Ugh, yuck. Anyway, so here's me, new adult me, saying that I'm going to provide something that's more basic, and maybe we can even, renovate it and make it exciting. Okay, this next one I'm still working out, but I noticed some of the tendencies of it, and that is trusting experts more than my gut or some YouTube video that I just watched. Societal wide, like, we're having trouble with this. The greatest generation, which is people like born in the 20s or 30s, whatever, they trusted their doctors, for instance, like, unquestionably. Like, you're the doctor, so clearly if you say that I should stop smoking, then that's the best thing to do. And if you say that I shouldn't eat eggs, or you think that I should whatever, like, they do it. Fast forward to our generation, or people younger than me, like, they don't believe experts. Like, they're like, the doctor is probably being paid to say this, and he went to medical school, which is all funded by pharmaceuticals, and so basically all they know how to do is push pills. So I don't believe doctors. I kind of have a little bit of that, I guess you could probably tell. I want to trust experts, and I'm working on trusting experts. And so when it comes to things like investing, 10 years ago, when I took an investing course, I was like, I'm not going to buy ETFs. Those are the most boring things in the world. I'm going to buy individual stocks and get rich within like 2 years. And the heck with those experts. What do they know, right? And lost not a lot of money, but a significant portion of money. And now I like ETFs, and I want to buy more of them. And so I want to listen to experts, and I want to trust that people have my own best interests at heart. Obviously, there's a few caveats to that statement, but I think overall, like, I want to trust people more. This one is maybe not as new, but it's kind of come up this summer, and that is considering the shortness of life. We've thought about and talked about more about what do we want to do how do we want to live our lives in the fact that there's no guarantees, and we could die soon or in 50 years, but actually 50 years. But how do we kind of like I think when I was young, it was just like floating and just following whatever was cool at the moment, with the idea that one day I'm going to settle down and own a house and a minivan, and that's when I'll be responsible and kind of put roots down and invest. But while I'm young, kind of just like figuring out what life is, and I feel like I'm at this point where it's like, and I want to take ownership of things like a job or a company, like invest and commit to a company or a cause or a neighborhood, and say that I really want to tie my fate to theirs, I suppose. It sounds really intense saying that stuff, tying my fate to theirs, but and thinking about like settling down, because I don't really want to settle down where I am. I guess I like the people, but I just always kind of have this sort of itch of doing more exciting things or being more exciting places, and I kind of just feel like I would feel disappointed if it was like I died today and it was like, oh, I didn't really do much like what I thought I would do. But it's like now, if I have that feeling and I want to act on it, like I can't wait. I need to go now, or do now, right now. That's actually, I'm doing that, right? It's something I feel like I'm supposed to do. Proverbs 24 says, "A little sleep and a little slumber, and poverty comes." I don't have poverty financially, but maybe it's like poverty of life dreams. Although I'm super grateful and I've got to do a lot of things that I'm really happy about, and with like career things or even ministry things, I don't feel like I've gotten very far in that, or what I've dreamed of, and for me it may not even be about like accomplishing it. I kind of just want to put myself in the arena and go for it, and it'd be better to fail than to just having not engaged in it because I was waiting for some unknown time or special people or group to join. So that is all I've got this morning. Thank you for listening.